University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello, there are 8 places in the quarter-final stage of this competition. 3 of them have already been taken. Whichever team wins tonight will join them. The 4 from Gonville and Caius College, Cambridge, have the satisfaction of knowing that they achieved the highest score in the entire first round, 305 points against the 105 of St Anne's College, Oxford. They knew about the mathematicians Babbage, Boole and Bayes, Formula 1 champions, cell biology, medieval German rulers and books on cricket. Let's see if they can repeat that form tonight with an average age of 22. Let's meet the Gonville and Caius team again.
Hi, I'm Ted Loveday. I'm from Hammersmith in London and I'm studying law.
Hello, I'm Michael Tiller from Ballymena in Northern Ireland and I'm studying for a PhD in history.
And this is their captain.
Hi, I'm Anthony Martinelli. I'm from Hertfordshire and I'm studying medicine.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Warner. I'm from Southampton and I'm reading Natural Sciences.
Now, the team from Manchester University lost their first-round match, but as one of the 4 highest-scoring losing teams, they returned to beat the University of Sussex by 210 points to 95. On that occasion, in between bursts of brilliance, they demonstrated an uncanny knack for guesswork. It almost seemed that not a single one of them had actually read Jane Eyre, but being able to guess at the title still won them 10 points. Let's meet the Manchester team for the 3rd time.
Hello, I'm Edmund Chapman. I'm originally from Norwich and I'm doing a PhD on literature and translation.
Hi, I'm Matthew Stallard from Wolverhampton and I'm doing a PhD in American Studies.
And this is their captain.
Hi, I'm John Ratcliffe. I'm from Manchester and I'm doing chemical engineering.
Hi, I'm Charlie Rowlands. I'm from Albrighton in Shropshire and I'm studying genetics and Chinese.
All right, you all know the rules by now, so fingers on the buzzers. Here's your first starter for 10. Taking the view that thought does not become a young woman, which character argues that girls should be sent at the age of 9 to a boarding school to learn ingenuity and artifice? She is the guardian of Lydia Languish, whom she orders to forget her suitor, in her words, to illiterate him quite from your memory, in Sheridan's play The Rivals.
Keys Taylor.
Mrs. Malaprop?
Yes. So you get the first set of bonuses, Caius College. They're on film adaptations of Shakespeare's Richard III. Firstly, for 5 points. Who played Richard III in a 1995 film directed by Richard Loncrane, set in a fictionalised authoritarian Britain of the 1930s?
It's Ian McKellen. Ian McKellen?
Correct. Which American actor appeared both as himself and as the king in the 1996 film Looking for Richard?
Any name American actor from 19? Nick Nolte.
No, it was Al Pacino. And finally, described by one critic as the dominant source for our assumptions of all things Richard III, which actor directed, produced and starred in the 1955 film version of the play?
It must be Olivier, surely. Laurence Olivier?
Correct. 10 points for this. In linguistics, which term was proposed by Saussure for individual instances of language use, as opposed to the language system of a group? In general speech, it indicates a means of conditional release for prisoners before they've completed their sentence.
Manchester Stallard.
Parole.
Parole is right, yes. Right, your bonuses are on hydrodynamics. In hydrodynamics, what principle is named after an 18th century Swiss scientist and states that an increase in the speed of an inviscid fluid is accompanied by a corresponding drop in pressure?
Do you want the person? Bernoulli.
Bernoulli is correct. Named after a 17th century Italian scientist, what law states that the exit velocity of a fluid out of a hole in a tank filled to depth h is the same as that which the fluid would acquire if dropped from a height equal to h to the ground?
Mach.
No, it's Torricelli's law. And finally, if g is 10 metres per second squared, what is the velocity of water coming out of a hole at the bottom of a full 5-metre tank?
That's the same as dropping it from the height, wouldn't it be 10 per second, so it'd be 50.
I guess.
Whatever the
no,
unit
probably
was.
like 50.
No, it's 10 metres per second. Right, 10 points for this. In the 1920s, which two scientists developed the statistical theory in quantum mechanics that describes one of two possible ways in which a system of indistinguishable particles can be distributed among a set of energy states, where each of the available discrete states can be occupied by only one particle?
Keys Martinelli.
Schrödinger and Dirac.
No, anyone want to buzz from Manchester?
Manchester Rowlands.
Dirac and Fermi.
Correct. Your bonuses now are on the Irish national cricket team. Manchester. In 1969, Ireland beat which test-playing side after bowling them out for 25 runs on a rain-affected wicket at Zion Mills in County Tyrone? The team manager, Clyde Walcott, was the visitors' second highest scorer with 6.
West Indies.
It was the West Indies, yes. In the 2007 Cricket World Cup, Ireland tied with Zimbabwe and beat which country to reach the Super 8 stage of the competition? They then lost all but one of their matches, beating only Bangladesh.
Yeah, it might have been England or Australia.
England.
No, it's Pakistan. In the 2011 World Cup, Ireland beat which test-playing country at Bangalore, with Kevin O'Brien hitting the fastest century in World Cup history?
Maybe England. Maybe England. I don't know. Yeah.
Say England again.
It was England, yes. Time for a picture round. Your picture starter is an outline map marked with the location of an airport named after a composer. For 10 points, I want the name of the composer and the city with which the airport is associated.
Keys Martinelli.
Is it Salzburg and Mozart?
It is, yes. For your bonus round, 3 more airports, all of which are named after well-known musicians or composers. Again, I want the name of the figure and the city the airport serves in each case. Firstly, for 5.
Is it Louis Armstrong? New Orleans? Louis Armstrong?
I think so.
We're going to go for Louis Armstrong in New Orleans.
That's correct. Secondly,
So that looks like it's somewhere around Milan. And then it's a composer, so it could be Vivaldi Milan or any other Italian composers you can think of. Oh, yeah, it could be. No, it's not Luca, though. We're going to go Milan and Verdi.
no, it's Parma and Verdi. And finally,
That's in Poland, so it's going to be Chopin and... Is it Warsaw? Yeah, Krakow's inside. So Warsaw and Chopin?
correct. 10 points at stake for this. After a Latin American country, what adjective links seed pods inhabited by the larva of a small moth, an impasse or confrontation?
Manchester Stellard.
Mexico.
Nope. An impasse or confrontation and an example of metachronal rhythm among spectators at a sports stadium.
Keys Taylor.
Mexican.
Mexican is correct, yes. Bad luck, Manchester. You lose 5 points, but I had asked for the adjective, not the noun. Right, you get a set of bonuses, Keys. They're on I rhymes, that is, pairs of words whose spellings are alike but do not rhyme. For example, cation and ration. In each case, give both words from the definitions. Firstly, a small arboreal primate native to Madagascar, and to hesitate, show reluctance or raise an objection.
Nominate Taylor.
Is it Lemur and Lemur?
No, it's lemur and demur. So you don't get the point there. Secondly, the gender of German words such as angst and stad, and melancholy, sullen or gloomy after a supposed astrological influence.
So what's the German word?
Feminine.
Feminine and...
Could be. Yeah, and then I don't know what the other one is.
Sad after an astrological thing.
Yeah.
Can anyone think of anything? Feminine and... Feminine and Geminin?
Gemini? No, it's feminine and saturnine. And finally, a conjunction that expresses a choice between alternatives and a hypothetical substance whose existence was disproved by the Michelson-Morley experiment of 1887.
It's all and... I didn't really understand this wordplay.
So it's something which sounds different.
No, look, it sounds different, but looks the same.
So,
Is it definitely or? I don't know. Disjunction. No. Can we just pass? Yeah, pass.
It's either and ether. Another starter question. Listen carefully, answer promptly. Add together the number of chapters in the title of Julian Barnes's History of the World, the number of people you meet in heaven, according to Mitch Albom, and the number of the Charing Cross Road address in the title of the book by Helene Hanff.
Keys Loveday.
36.
No.
Manchester Chapman.
50.
No, it's 99.5. Another starter question now. Listen carefully. In solving the Basel problem, the Swiss mathematician Leonhard Euler determined that the summation of the reciprocals of the squares of the natural numbers is equal to which closed formula in terms of pi?
Keys Warner.
pi squared over 6.
Correct. These bonuses are on the solar system. A body placed at one of the Lagrange or libration points of the Sun-Earth system can maintain an orbit such that it remains stationary relative to Earth. How many Lagrange points are there?
5. Yeah, L1's 5, isn't it?
5.
Correct. In the Sun-Jupiter system, 2 of the Lagrange points are occupied by groups of asteroids known as Trojans. These follow and lead Jupiter in its orbit by how many degrees?
50 is a reasonable shot. Do you actually have an idea?
It's just geometrically nice.
45.
Okay, it's 45.
No, it's 60. What geometrical property characterises the positions of the other 3 Lagrange points, including L1, which in the Sun-Earth system is host to several astronomical satellites?
In the same straight line as the 2 planets.
Specifically, what's it called?
The Sun-Earth line.
I'd accept that, yes, they're collinear. Right, 10 points for this. In the titles of paintings by Raphael, what term follows the words conestabile, small Cooper, Ansidii, Alba and Sistine?
Keys Martinelli.
Chapel?
Nope. One of you buzz from Manchester?
Manchester Rowlands.
Angel?
No, it's Madonna. 10 points for this. A servant in the Pickwick Papers, the detective sergeant in the long-running play The Mousetrap, Roald Dahl's James, who travels in a giant peach, and the sitcom characters Grandad and Uncle Albert, all
Manchester Stellard.
Trotter.
Trotter is right, yes. Here are your bonuses, Manchester. They're on the inaugural addresses of US presidents. Firstly, for 5, in his 2009 inaugural address, Barack Obama stated that 44 Americans have now taken the presidential oath. Strictly speaking, this statement is incorrect, because which president served 2 non-consecutive terms in the late 19th century?
Grover Cleveland.
Correct. In 1841, which president delivered an inaugural address that lasted for 1 hour and 3/4, but died of pneumonia only a month later?
Is it William Henry Harrison?
Harrison.
Which one?
William Henry Harrison.
Correct. Finally, the second inaugural address of which early president is the shortest of all such speeches at only 133 words?
Lincoln's was pretty short, wasn't it? Lincoln was really which early president.
I think probably more like Jefferson, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe even Washington. I don't know. I said Jefferson.
Jefferson.
No, it was George Washington. We're about halfway through. We're going to take a music round. For your music starter, you're going to hear a piece of popular music. 10 points if you can identify the band.
I can't seem to face up to the fire.
Keys Taylor.
Talking Heads.
Correct. Psycho Killer. Talking Heads is the favourite band of Patrick Bateman, the troubled narrator of Bret Easton Ellis's American Psycho. Bateman is also an amateur music critic. Your bonuses are 3 more selections from his record collection. In each case, simply identify the band or artist. Firstly, for 5, this band performing what Bateman describes as the most moving pop song of the 1980s.
You know I love you, but I just can't take this. You know I love you, but I'm playing for keeps. Although I need you.
Genesis.
Correct. Secondly, this band performing what Bateman describes as a song so catchy, most people probably don't listen to the lines.
Huey Lewis and the News.
Correct. And finally, this artist performing what Bateman describes as one of the best, most powerful songs ever written about self-preservation and dignity.
Jennifer Rush.
No, it's Whitney Houston. Right, 10 points for this. The Cordillera Darwin is a mountain range on the largest island of which archipelago?
Manchester Stellard.
Galapagos.
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. The range lies in the Chilean section of the island, while the largest towns, Ushuaia and Rio Grande, are in Argentinian territory.
Keys Martinelli.
Easter Island.
No, it's Tierra del Fuego. 10 points for this. The Latinized form of a Germanic name meaning mighty in battle. What name was shared by the wives of William the Conqueror, Henry I, King Stephen, and the Empress?
Keys Loveday.
Matilda.
Correct. You get a set of bonuses now on an English artist. The plagiarism of the works of which artists led him to lobby for the legislation which was passed as the Engravers Copyright Act of 1735?
Hogarth.
Correct. In his 1753 treatise, The Analysis of Beauty, Hogarth wrote that Shakespeare, who had the deepest penetration into nature, has summed all the charms of beauty in 2 words. Occurring in Enobarbus's description of Cleopatra, which 2 words did he mean?
You know it is. No.
It's infinite variety. Finally, which series of paintings by Hogarth was advertised as representing a variety of modern occurrences in high life?
The Rake's Progress. The Rake's Progress.
No, it's Marriage à la Mode. 10 points for this. Which literary magazine has, every 10 years since 1983, listed the 20 writers it considers to be the best of young...
Manchester Stellard.
Granta.
Granta is correct, yes. These bonuses are on liturgical music, Manchester. From the Greek for return sound, what name is given in the Western Church to a short verse or sentence sung or recited by a choir in response to a psalm or other text?
Diaphonic.
No, it's antiphon, an antiphon. The O antiphons are sung before which song of praise during Advent? It's the hymn sung by the Virgin Mary in St. Luke's Gospel.
We don't know.
That's the Magnificat. And finally, best known for his setting of the poem usually called Jerusalem, which composer wrote a Magnificat for Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee in 1897?
Hubert Parry.
Hubert Parry.
Hubert Parry is correct. Another sub-question now. What final 4 letters link words meaning a flirtatious woman, the conventional rules of polite society, and a...
Manchester Radcliffe.
E-T-T-E.
Correct. Etiquette, etiquette, and so on. Right, these bonuses are on botany, Manchester. Of Spanish or Portuguese origin, what word describes tropical and subtropical forests that form in saline swamps and coastal regions, such as the Sundarbans of Bengal?
Mangrove.
Correct. Secondly, for 5 points, many plants growing in mangrove forests develop pneumatophores. What organs are modified to form these structures?
I know a lot of mangrove trees have roots that grow up out of the soil. Oh, so maybe that's what. So the answer would be roots, wouldn't it?
Roots.
Roots is correct. Pneumatophores are adaptations seen in taxonomically unrelated species. What type of evolution does this demonstrate?
Convergent.
Convergent.
Convergent is right. We're going to take a second picture round now. For your picture starter, you're going to see a painting. 10 points if you can give me both the title it's been known by since the late 19th century and the artist.
Keys Martinelli.
That's The Laughing Cavalier by Franz Haus.
It is indeed, yes. 2014 sees the reopening of the Wallace Collection's Great Gallery, the usual home of that painting. Your picture bonuses are 3 more paintings usually housed in the Great Gallery. All of them are also from the 17th century and painted within 10 years of each other. In each case, simply name the artist. Firstly, for 5, this Flemish artist.
So Flemish artists. Could go Van Dyck. That or Rubens, yeah. Go Van Dyck. Van Dyck.
Van Dyck is correct. Secondly, this French artist.
So that's going to be Poussin, isn't it? That's Poussin. Poussin.
That's correct. His Dance to the Music of Time. Finally, this Spanish artist.
It's quite gaunt. It could be Goya. Do you think Velázquez? So, yeah, Velázquez.
It is indeed the lady with the fan. 10 points for this. Legal positivism is an approach to law that denies any necessary connection between law and morality and is especially associated with which utilitarian philosopher born in London in 1748?
Keys Taylor.
Jeremy Bentham.
Correct. These bonuses, Keys, are on balloon flight in literature. The novel Enduring Love opens with an attempt to save a young boy being carried away in a helium balloon that has broken loose. Who was the author?
That's Ian McEwan. That's Ian McEwan.
Correct. Lyra Belacqua falls from a hydrogen balloon and is taken prisoner by armoured bears in which novel? The first in Philip Pullman's His Dark Materials trilogy.
Northern Lights.
Correct. The 2013 book Levels of Life uses balloon flight and aerial photography as metaphors for love and is by which Booker Prize-winning author?
What's the name of the novel? Julian Barnes. Yeah, Julian Barnes.
Correct. 10 points for this. Answer as soon as your name is called. How many pairs of double letters are there in the dictionary spelling of the expression accommodation address?
Manchester Rowlands.
4.
4 is correct, yes. These bonuses are on geophysics, Manchester. What name is given to the branch of applied mathematics that studies the shape and size of the Earth and its gravitational field?
Geometrics, I don't know. Yeah, no, it's... Geometrics.
It's geodesy. In geodesy, what term is used to describe the equipotential surface of the Earth's gravity that best fits global mean sea level?
Oh, it's the... Oh, I know this. It's the means something reference. Oh, I can't remember.
It's the geoid.
Oh.
And finally, after which Italian scientist has the European Union's system of global navigation satellites been named?
Galileo?
Galileo is correct. 4.5 minutes ago, 10 points for this. What 9-letter term for the snout of an animal appears in the common name of Nassalis?
Manchester Ratcliffe.
Proboscis.
Proboscis is correct, yes. These bonuses are on politics, Manchester. In each case, name the 20th century Prime Minister whose cabinet included both of the following as Home Secretary and Foreign Secretary, respectively. Firstly, Aretas Acus Douglas and the Marquis of Lansdowne.
Anyone? Ramsay MacDonald.
No, it was Arthur Balfour. Secondly, Sir Samuel Hoare and Lord Halifax.
When was the Hall of Halifax? Was that Baldwin? Baldwin?
No, that was Neville Chamberlain. And finally, Merlin Rees and David Owen.
David Owen was... Wilson.
No, it was James Callaghan. 10 points for this. In astronomy, what name is given to the hypothetical metal-free stars that are believed to have been the earliest stars to have formed?
Keys Martinelli.
Protostars.
Nope. Manchester, one of you, Buzz?
Manchester Rowlands.
Molten stars.
No, they're population 3 or pop 3 stars. 10 points for this. Between 1871 and 1893, which author produced the series of novels that were collectively entitled Les Rougon-Macquart?
Keys Taylor.
Emile Zola.
Correct. Your bonuses are on official languages of India other than Hindi and English. In each case, give the official language of the state in which the following major cities are located. Firstly, for 5 points, Hyderabad and Vijayawada.
So that's Andhra Pradesh, so I think it's going to be Telugu. Telugu.
Correct. Second, Ahmedabad and Surat.
Any idea where that is? Surat? Could be in Gujarat. We'll go Gujarati.
Correct. And finally, Amritsar and Ludhiana.
So that's in the Punjab, so I think I'll be happy with Punjab. Punjabi.
Correct. 10 points for this. Written to mark the coronation in 1953, Benjamin Britten's opera Gloriana concerns the relationship between Elizabeth I and which of her courtiers?
Keys Taylor.
The Earl of Essex.
Correct. Well, at Robert Devereux, as he was also known. 3 questions for your bonuses on the circulatory system of a mammalian fetus. Firstly, the lungs of a fetus do not function. What vessel diverts most blood from the pulmonary artery to the aorta?
The ductus arteriosus.
Correct. Secondly, which 2 chambers of the fetal heart are connected by the foramen ovale?
The right and the left atria.
Correct. And finally, born 1614, which English physician gives his name to the viscous jelly-like substance that protects blood vessels in the umbilical cord?
Oh, I don't know. Harvey. I can't think of anyone else. Harvey?
No, it was Wharton, Thomas Wharton. 10 points for this. Deriving from an ancient Greek belief that some forms of stone could consume flesh, what term denotes a stone coffin, typically bearing part...
Manchester Rowlands.
Sarcophagus.
Correct. These bonuses, Manchester, are on philosophy, exploring methods of reaching a rational basis for action, such as intuitionism. The 1874 Methods of Ethics is the main work of which English moral philosopher?
English moral philosopher in the 1870s?
Come on.
We don't know.
It's Henry Sidgwick. Secondly, which US philosopher found acclaim in 1988 with the fragility of goodness, her study of ancient Greek ethics?
Susan Sontag? No idea. What was it? Susan Sontag?
Susan Sontag.
No, it wasn't. It was Martha Nussbaum. And finally, shortly after his death in 1677, which Dutch Jewish philosopher's opera postuma contained the ethics published by his friends?
Spinoza.
Spinoza is correct. Another starter question now. 10 points for this. Which US president was in office when Alaska and Hawaii achieved statehood?
Keys Taylor.
Harry Truman.
No, anyone like to buzz?
Manchester Stella.
Eisenhower.
Eisenhower is right, yes. Your set of bonuses this time, Manchester, are on regencies. William Marshall, the first Earl of Pembroke, and Hubert de Burgh, the first Earl of Kent, both acted as regent at the Gone. Manchester University have 135. Gonville and King's College, Cambridge have 200. It was Henry III I was looking for in that last question. But congratulations to you, Gonville and Keys, and commiserations to you, Manchester. You played well, and you've been an entertaining team to have with us, but I'm afraid at this stage it's straight knockout, and we're going to say goodbye to you. Gonville and Keys, another terrific performance from you. We should look forward to seeing you in the next stage of the competition, the quarterfinals. Well done. I hope you can join us next time, but until then, it's goodbye from Manchester University.
Bye.
Bye.
It's goodbye from Gonville and Keys College, Cambridge.
Bye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.